Why, hello there, everyone. How's it going? It's Thursday night, December 10th. But did you know that there's still do you know that the election is not over yet? I had a guy ask me the other day. He goes, "So the election, did they decide the election yet?" He wasn't from here. He's from a different country, but he lives here, and he's like, he didn't know the answer about whether or not the election was over yet. And he's right. It's not over yet. There's still the electors have to cast their ballots, right? We got to get somebody to plus over 270. So, but states and District of Columbia have certified results. So I totaled up all the votes because I'm the Q man who goes over all this stuff just to figure out, is everything kosher? Is everything right? And you can look at this a lot of different ways. What are places where the most electoral votes are given out? That's California. What kind of win percentage did Biden win by? You can put conditional formatting on this to kind of see states where they went heavily one way or the other. Um, Places Biden won heavily: New York, California. No big surprise here. I always want to do it the other way. Um, like this District of Columbia, Vermont, Massachusetts. That's where it obviously goes Democratic a lot. It goes Republican a lot. Wyoming, West Virginia, North Dakota, Oklahoma. Now, what's funny about all this is I'm from Virginia, which has turned more toward the other way. But a lot of my friends are Republicans, and that I visit in states all across the country, in states that are Republican states. So I love everybody. I was just talking to a guy in Kansas today, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with this new administration, but we do work together, and we're super cool." So, whichever political persuasion it goes, you can see that there's a distribution of voting that makes you think about, well, where where are the most votes? Like, what was the actual distribution? Like, the Electoral College awards these votes based on how many each state has and then who wins the state for the most part. There's a couple states that split it up, like Nebraska and Maine split it up a little bit here, right? Maine went 3-1, and Nebraska went 1-4. But the point is what I wanted to do with this exercise was to say, well, based on all the actual votes over here, well, what should the actual electors be? Like, I know that Trump has tried to do a lot of things to try to get legislatures to send different electors to award certain states to him that didn't go to him. That's his, like, take this 20 and put it over here to get rid of it. And then he gets closer, but he still has to do that with another state like Arizona or something. And what's interesting about that is, yeah, these are super close states. Like, look at the margins of victory here. When you sort the margin of victory, the closest states that there were North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Wisconsin, like all the way Florida here to Pennsylvania. So when you hear about things like voter suppression, or did the mail make it there, or the ballots that never made it to get counted from the mail, or stuff like that, you can see that the amounts were very, very slim. And this right even here, you're talking a swing of 30,000 votes that managed to swing 52 electoral college votes. That's amazing. That's how you can really dig in and realize how impactful these close states are and were, and why there's such a fight about them, and why the numbers. I mean, the numbers do drop. That Trump would have to switch a lot of them to make it work, and he already has North Carolina where he has the 74. So it's really these. It's 42,000 votes in these three states, half of what it would be need to switch Pennsylvania. It's amazing. It's really amazing. Anyway, so the point is this. So this is what the actual electoral votes should be, and if they stray from that, you got funny business going on. You got to look into it, because this is what they're supposed to vote for based on the way the state rules are, basically, and what our Constitution intended. If it didn't say it explicitly, which I think it did anyway, that's what's supposed to happen here. But what if you took these votes and tried to split out the electors in a different way that made more sense, prorated? That's what this simulation sheet is. And the simulation sheet shows a lot closer country than you may have thought. It's actually 279 Biden to 259 Trump. So if Trump wants to hang his hat on something, he can say, "Listen, I didn't really lose by that much, even though I lost by 7 million votes." Even though he lost by 7 million votes, which is, I mean, what percentage of the people that voted is that? Equals this divided by The percentage of people that voted for one of the two of them. There are other votes for Jorgensen and stuff like that I am not including. So that's why I'm doing, this is a different number than you might see in the news because it's not an accurate number. It's just between the two of them. 4.5% margin. That's really how bad the beatdown was. It was like 55 or 52-47, something like that. That's what it was. So in reality, if you prorated all the states, which you can't do in this election, but if you wanted to change the way the Electoral College works to make it more fair, then do something like this. Then you're really going to fight for electoral votes. You can see that in California, Trump still would get 19 votes in California, and Biden would only get 35. There are 6 million people that voted for Trump in California. Why should their vote count for nothing when it could count for 19? That's the way I look at this. As an observer that's not partisan in this when it comes to the math, which is I think that the Electoral College sucks, and it really does. This is wrong. It should be this. And Biden still gets to plus 270, and Biden still wins, but this is appropriate. I mean, I can see Maine and Nebraska trying to do that stuff. So where's the weirdest thing? Why doesn't Biden get 14 out of 30, out of 29 in Florida? I mean, look at how close this was. If we do this the whole way down about the percentage differences between these two, divided by this plus this, and put that in a percentage all the way down, and then we're going to put some colors on it. It's going to show you how close some things were. Wow. 0.2% in Georgia, 0.3% in Arizona, 0.6%. That is just some close stuff right there. 1.4%. And Wyoming, no contest. South Dakota, no contest. North Dakota, no contest. I mean, you're only talking about 9 votes here, but 2 senators from each state. Populations are, the numbers are so red because look, the population numbers are color-coded to the numbers here. So like, red means low population. Yeah, low, like Biden wins District of Columbia by 80-something%, but there's also only 340,000 votes there, which, so you switch this around and do this. You see where the population is and where the margins were. There's a ton of things. I'm just going to put this out to download for anybody who wants this, because really this is supposed to be the final vote totals, I believe, because I think all the states have certified. So is this it? Did Biden win by 7 million votes? I know there's lawsuits everywhere, but I don't think any of them mean anything. So, this is your vote total, but this is what it was in spirit, and there you have it. That's the 2020 election.